Have you ever felt like you don't know what to say when someone you love is hurting? Have you ever wondered what is the best way to respond to a wounded person without making the situation worse? If so, this video is for you. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal powerful and effective strategies to connect deeply and authentically with those who are going through difficult times. From understanding the pain of others to the importance of silence and patience, you'll discover how your response can make a big difference. It doesn't matter if it's a friend, family member, or loved one. These tools will help you be present and provide the support they really need. Stay with us and learn how you can become a true beacon of hope for those you love most. Let's get started. And if you like this content, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our next videos. Start. Understanding the pain of others is critical to being able to offer genuine and meaningful support. Empathy and compassion are essential qualities in this process. Empathy allows us to put ourselves in the other person's shoes, feel what they feel, and understand their perspective. Compassion, on the other hand, impels us to act, to do something to alleviate the suffering of the other. The importance of empathy and compassion lies in their ability to build emotional bridges and create deep connections. When someone feels understood and supported, they experience significant relief. Feeling like you're not alone in your pain can be the first step toward healing. Empathy and compassion remind us that while we can't fix every problem, our presence and understanding can make a big difference. Pain can manifest itself in different ways in different people. Some may externalize their suffering through tears or words, actively seeking comfort and support. Others may withdraw, becoming silent and reserved, struggling internally with their emotions. Pain is not always obvious. Sometimes it hides behind a forced smile or seemingly normal behavior. Imagine a person who has lost a loved one. Your grief may be visible through your crying, your lack of energy, or your need to talk about the person you have lost. In contrast, another person in the same situation might not show any obvious emotion, but perhaps they are hurting deeply inside, feeling disconnected and alone. Another manifestation of pain can be anger or irritability. Someone who is hurt may react defensively, pushing away those who try to help them. This is a form of protection, a mechanism to prevent further pain. Acknowledging that anger can be a sign of suffering is crucial to approaching the situation with empathy and patience. Pain can also manifest physically. Stress, anxiety, and deep sadness can lead to body aches, fatigue, and illness. Someone who is dealing with a loss or emotional trauma may experience these symptoms without even realizing the connection between their emotional state and their physical well-being. The importance of active listening cannot be understated when it comes to responding to a wounded person. Active listening means being fully present in the conversation, not only hearing the words, but also understanding the underlying feelings and needs. This type of listening goes beyond simple passive listening and becomes a powerful tool for providing emotional support and relieving suffering. To listen effectively, there are several techniques that can be helpful. First of all, it is essential to maintain eye contact with the person speaking. This shows that you are attentive and engaged with what they are saying. It's also important to avoid interruptions and distractions, such as looking at your phone or thinking about your response while the other person is still talking. Patience is key here. Allow the person to express themselves fully before intervening. Another essential technique is to reflect and paraphrase what the person has said. This involves repeating in your own words what you've heard, which helps confirm that you've understood correctly and gives the other person a chance to clear up any misunderstandings. For example, you might say, "What I'm hearing is that you're feeling very frustrated by what happened at work today. Is that so?" This type of response shows that you are involved and that you value what they are telling you. Additionally, asking open-ended questions can encourage a deeper and more meaningful conversation. Instead of questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no, opt for questions that invite the person to share more about their experience and feelings. For example, "Can you tell me more about how that situation made you feel?" Or, "What do you think might help you right now?" These questions show your genuine interest and help the person explore their own thoughts and emotions. Active listening also includes empathy, which is the ability to understand and share another person's feelings. Showing empathy can be as simple as saying, "I can see that this is really hard for you," or "I understand this must be very painful." These affirmations not only validate the person's feelings, but also create a safe space where they feel understood and supported. Active listening can alleviate suffering in a number of ways. First, when someone feels truly heard, they experience a decrease in loneliness and isolation. Knowing that someone is there, willing to listen without judgment, can be a great comfort in times of distress. In addition, active listening can help the person process and better understand their own emotions. Often, talking about a difficult experience with someone who listens carefully can offer new perspective and clarity. Another way active listening alleviates suffering is through building a relationship of trust. When a person feels they can trust you to listen without interrupting, criticizing, or minimizing their feelings, a solid foundation is laid for ongoing emotional support. This trust allows the person to open up more in the future, knowing that they have an ally in their healing process. Avoiding judgment and bias is crucial when it comes to responding to a hurting person. Lawsuits can aggravate pain in a number of ways. First, when we judge someone, we are imposing our own interpretations and expectations on their experience. This can make the person feel misunderstood and isolated, exacerbating their suffering. Judgments can minimize or invalidate a person's feelings, causing them to feel belittled or embarrassed by their emotions. For example, saying, "You shouldn't feel that way," or "You're exaggerating," can cause the person to shut down and stop sharing their feelings, impeding the healing process. Prejudice, which is preconceived opinions based on stereotypes or previous experiences, can also cause harm. These biases can cause us to assume things about the person or their situation without really listening or understanding. For example, we might think that someone is reacting in a certain way out of weakness or lack of character, when in fact there are deeper and more complex factors at play. Not only does this kind of attitude impede true understanding, but it can also perpetuate stigmas and emotional barriers. To keep an open and receptive mind, it's important to adopt certain strategies. One of them is to practice self-awareness. This involves recognizing our own biases and automatic judgments. By being aware of them, we can take steps to adjust them and focus on the current situation with a fresh perspective. Asking ourselves, "Am I judging this person based on my own experiences or beliefs?" can be a good start. Another strategy is to make a conscious effort to listen without interrupting or imposing our opinions. This means allowing the person to express themselves fully before offering any answers or advice. Practicing active listening, as mentioned above, is an effective way to make sure that we are truly understanding and not just waiting for our turn to speak. It is also useful to use open-ended questions that invite reflection and the exploration of feelings. Questions like, "How does that make you feel?" or "What do you think might help you now?" can help the person dig deeper into their own experiences and feelings without feeling like they're being judged. These questions show a genuine interest and a willingness to understand without imposing our own perspectives. Another important technique is emotional validation. This involves acknowledging and accepting the other person's feelings without trying to change or judge them. Simply saying, "I understand this is very hard for you," or "It's completely normal to feel this way in this situation," can provide great emotional relief and help the person feel accepted and understood. It's also crucial to practice empathy, which allows us to connect with the other person's feelings. Trying to see the world from their perspective and feel what they feel can help us respond in a more understanding and compassionate way. Empathy doesn't mean that we have to agree with everything they say or do, but that we acknowledge their emotional experience and respect it. Keeping an open mind also involves being willing to learn and adapt. This may mean seeking more information or resources to better understand the person's situation. It can be helpful to read about similar experiences or talk to others who have been through similar situations. This additional knowledge can broaden our understanding and allow us to offer more informed and effective support. Offering emotional support is an essential skill to provide comfort and help to someone who is going through a difficult time. Often there is a significant difference between offering emotional support and providing practical solutions. Emotional support focuses on being present for the other person, validating their feelings, and offering them a safe space to express themselves. In contrast, practical solutions involve offering concrete advice or actions to solve a specific problem. The key difference between emotional support and practical solutions lies in focus and purpose. Emotional support is about accompanying the person in their emotional experience, without necessarily trying to change the situation. It is a form of empathic presence that recognizes and validates the person's feelings. For example, if someone is sad about the loss of a loved one, emotional support might be sitting down with them, listening to their grief, and saying something like, "I'm so sorry for your loss, I'm here for you." This kind of support acknowledges the pain and offers comfort without trying to fix what can't be fixed. On the other hand, practical solutions focus on concrete actions that can help solve a problem. For example, if someone is stressed by an overwhelming workload, a practical solution might be to help them organize their tasks or suggest time management techniques. While these solutions can be helpful, they don't always address the person's underlying emotional needs. It's important to recognize when someone needs emotional support versus practical solutions. Many times, in our rush to help, we can quickly jump to offer solutions without realizing that what the person really needs is to be heard and understood. Actively listening and asking the person directly how we can help them can be a good place to start. Asking, "Would you like to talk about what you're feeling?" or "How can I support you right now?" allows the person to express their needs and steers us in the right direction to offer the right kind of support. There are several ways to show that you are present and available to offer emotional support. One of the most effective is active listening. This involves not only listening to the words the person is saying, but also paying attention to their tone of voice, body language, and underlying emotions. Active listening shows that you are fully present in the moment and engaged with the other person's experience. Making eye contact, nodding your head, and responding with affirmations like, "I understand," or "That sounds really hard," can make the person feel heard and valued. Another way to show your presence and availability is to offer your time. Often, simply being available to spend time with the person can be a great comfort. This can mean spending time together in silence, doing an activity you enjoy, or just being there to chat when you need to. Volunteering your time shows that you value the person and that you're willing to invest in their emotional well-being. Emotional validation is also crucial. This involves acknowledging and accepting the other person's feelings without trying to change or judge them. Saying things like, "It's completely understandable that you feel this way," or "Your feelings are valid," can help the person feel understood and supported. Emotional validation creates a safe space where the person feels free to express their emotions without fear of being judged or misunderstood. Showing empathy is another powerful way to offer emotional support. Empathy goes beyond sympathy. It involves trying to understand and share the other person's feelings. Saying something like, "I can imagine how painful this must be for you," or "I'm here with you in this difficult time," can make a big difference. Empathy creates an emotional connection and can help alleviate the feeling of loneliness that often accompanies suffering. It is also important to be patient and not rush the person to feel better. The process of emotional healing can be long and complicated, and each person experiences it differently. Being patient and allowing the person to take the time they need to process their emotions is a crucial form of support. Reassuring them that you're there for them, no matter how long it takes, can provide a sense of security and stability. The importance of silence in communication is often underestimated, but it has immense power when it comes to offering emotional support to someone who is going through a difficult time. Silence can be a powerful tool for creating a safe and welcoming space where the other person feels free to express their thoughts and feelings without interruptions or pressure. In a world where communication is dominated by noise and the constant need for quick responses, learning to value and use silence can make a huge difference in our interactions and relationships. The power of silence in communication lies in its ability to allow for deeper reflection and a more authentic emotional connection. When we listen silently, we show that we are fully present and engaged in the conversation. This type of mindfulness sends a clear message. We value what the other person is saying and give them the space to express themselves at their own pace. Silence allows the person speaking to feel that their words have weight and meaning, and that we don't need to fill every moment with our own opinions or advice. Silence also offers a necessary pause for reflection, both for the speaker and the listener. For the speaker, these pauses can provide the time needed to organize their thoughts, delve into their emotions, and find the right words to express what they feel. For the listener, silence allows them to process what has been said, better understand the message, and respond in a more considerate and empathetic way. Rather than rushing to offer solutions or answers, silence invites us to be present in the moment and to pay genuine attention. Silence can be an incredibly powerful form of support. Often, when someone is going through a difficult time, what they need most is not a quick fix or well-intentioned advice, but simply the presence of someone who is willing to listen without judgment. Silence can provide that safe space where the person feels free to express their deepest emotions without fear of being interrupted or misunderstood. By offering silence, we are saying, "I am here for you and I am willing to listen to anything you need to share." In addition, silence can help reduce the sense of isolation that often accompanies emotional suffering. Knowing that someone is willing to sit quietly with us, sharing our emotional burden without the need for words, can be deeply comforting. This kind of quiet support can strengthen emotional connection and provide a solid foundation of trust and understanding. Silence can also be a therapeutic tool in situations where words may be insufficient or even harmful. There are times when there are no words to comfort someone or to ease their pain. In these cases, silence may be the most sincere and respectful way to show support. Simply being present, offering a shoulder to lean on, or a silent hug can communicate more than words ever could. Likewise, silence can facilitate greater self-reflection and self-understanding. By allowing the person to speak without interruptions, we give them the opportunity to explore and process their own emotions and thoughts. This reflective space can help them find their own answers and solutions, strengthening their sense of autonomy and empowerment. It is important to recognize that silence does not mean passivity or indifference. On the contrary, it is an active way to be present and to show empathy. To use silence effectively, it is essential to be fully attentive and engaged with the other person. This involves maintaining eye contact, showing supportive nonverbal cues like nodding or smiling, and being willing to respond when appropriate, but not rushing to fill the space with unnecessary words. In some cultures and contexts, silence may be interpreted differently. It's crucial to be aware of these differences and adapt our communication accordingly. However, the basis of silence as a form of emotional support is universal. It's about creating a safe space, showing respect, and being authentically present. Responding with positive affirmations is an effective way to offer emotional support and strengthen your relationship with someone who is going through a difficult time. Positive affirmations are statements that acknowledge and validate the other person's feelings and experiences, instilling hope, confidence, and encouragement. These affirmations can be powerful tools to help someone feel valued, understood, and motivated. Examples of positive affirmations may vary depending on the situation, but they all share the goal of providing support and recognition. For example, if someone is facing a challenging situation at work, a positive affirmation might be, "You're handling this situation with a lot of grace and strength. I'm impressed by your ability to stay calm under pressure." This statement not only recognizes the person's effort, but also instills confidence in their ability to handle the situation. In the context of a personal loss, a positive affirmation might be, "It's completely understandable that you're feeling so much pain right now. I want you to know that you are not alone and that I am here to support you in everything you need." This statement validates the person's feelings and assures them that they have emotional support during their grieving process. Another situation could be when someone is working toward a personal or professional goal and is feeling discouraged. A positive affirmation might be, "You have accomplished so much so far, and I am confident that with your determination and effort, you will achieve your goals. I'm proud of everything you've achieved." This type of affirmation not only recognizes the progress made, but also motivates the person to keep going. The impact of positive affirmations can be profound and long-lasting. By receiving positive affirmations, people can experience increased self-esteem and self-confidence. These statements can help reduce stress and anxiety by providing a sense of support and understanding. In addition, positive affirmations can strengthen interpersonal relationships, as they demonstrate empathy, respect, and recognition towards the other person. Using positive affirmations effectively requires sensitivity and empathy. It's important to choose the right time to offer an affirmation, making sure it's genuine and relevant to the situation. For example, during a conversation where the person is expressing their feelings and vulnerabilities, it may be the right time to offer a positive affirmation that acknowledges their courage in sharing their emotions. It is crucial that positive affirmations are authentic and specific. Rather than offering generic praise, it is more effective to provide affirmations that are directly relevant to the person's situation. For example, instead of saying, "You're amazing," you might say, "The way you dealt with that difficult situation shows incredible strength and determination." Specific affirmations have a greater impact because they show that you are paying attention to and valuing the unique aspects of the person and their experience. It's also important to balance positive affirmations with active listening and emotional validation. It is not just about offering praise, but about creating a space in which the person feels heard and understood. Positive affirmations should be part of a larger conversation that includes empathy and genuine support. Positive affirmations can be particularly effective in moments of self-criticism or self-doubt. If someone is expressing insecurities or feeling insufficient, a positive affirmation can counteract these negative thoughts and provide a more balanced perspective. For example, if someone says, "I don't think I can do it," a positive affirmation might be, "I understand this sounds challenging, but you've proven time and time again your ability to overcome obstacles. I trust in your ability to find a solution." It's important to remember that positive affirmations shouldn't minimize the person's feelings or suggest that they need to get over their emotions quickly. Instead, they should acknowledge and validate what the person is experiencing, while offering a perspective of support and hope. For example, instead of saying, "Don't worry, everything will be okay," you could say, "I know this is very difficult right now, but I'm here for you and I believe in your ability to meet this challenge." Offering perspectives without imposing is an essential skill in communication, especially when it comes to supporting someone who is going through a difficult time. Sharing personal experiences can be valuable, but it's important to do so in a way that doesn't impose our opinions or solutions. Rather than dictating how the other person should feel or act, our goal should be to offer a perspective that can be helpful, allowing the person to make their own decisions. When we share our personal experiences, it is crucial to do so with sensitivity and respect. Instead of presenting our experience as the right or best way to handle a situation, we should frame it as just a possibility. For example, instead of saying, "You should do what I did," we might say, "When I was in a similar situation, this is what helped me." This way of sharing does not impose a solution, but simply offers an option based on our personal experience. It is also important to be aware of the differences between our experiences and those of the other person. What worked for us may not be applicable or useful to someone else because of differences in circumstances, personalities, and contexts. Acknowledging these differences and expressing empathy for the other person's unique situation can help keep our words from feeling imposing. For example, we can say, "I know every situation is different, but I wanted to share what helped me in case it might be helpful to you." Another effective technique for offering perspectives without imposing is to ask open-ended questions. Instead of telling someone what they should do, we can ask questions that help them reflect on their situation and come to their own conclusions. Questions like, "Have you thought about how you could approach this?" Or, "What options do you think you might consider?" Invite the person to explore their own thoughts and feelings, rather than feeling like they're being told what to do. Emotional validation also plays a crucial role in this process. Before offering any perspective, it is important to validate the person's feelings and experiences. This shows that we understand and respect their situation, which can make them more open to listening to our suggestions. For example, we might say, "It sounds like this has been really hard for you. I want to share something that helped me in a similar situation, but I understand that it may not be the same for you." Using non-directive language is another useful technique. Instead of using imperative phrases, we can opt for language that gently suggests a perspective. For example, instead of saying, "You should try this," we might say, "You might consider this as an option." This type of language allows the person to feel in control of their decisions and reduces the feeling that an opinion is being imposed on them. It's also important to be open to feedback and willing to listen if the person doesn't find our perspective helpful. If we share an experience or suggestion and the person does not respond positively, we must be prepared to respect their reaction and not insist on our opinion. Say something like, "I understand that this may not be helpful to you. Is there anything else I can help you with?" Shows that we are committed to supporting them in the way that benefits them most. Offering perspectives without imposing also implies being aware of our intention. If our intention is genuinely to help and support, this will be reflected in our communication. However, if our intention is to prove that we are right, or that our way of doing things is the best, this will also be noticed and can create resistance. Reflecting on our motivations before sharing our experiences can help us maintain a supportive and respectful approach. In addition, it is useful to offer our perspectives as part of a larger conversation and not as the ultimate solution. This means that we should be open to dialogue, listen to the other person's concerns and thoughts, and adjust our suggestions based on what we hear. For example, we might say, "This is what worked for me, but I'm interested in how you see the situation and what you think might work best for you." Finally, remembering that each person has their own pace and time to process and make decisions is crucial. Sometimes, even the best prospects may not be immediately helpful, and it is important to allow space and time for the person to reflect and decide for themselves. Showing patience and being willing to continue to support, regardless of whether our suggestions are adopted or not, is a vital part of offering support without imposing. The importance of silence in communication is an aspect that is often overlooked, but can have a profound and significant impact. Silence has the power to transform a conversation and create a space where emotions and thoughts can be expressed authentically. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with noise and stimuli, silence offers a respite, a necessary pause for reflection and genuine connection. The power of silence in communication lies in its ability to allow the other person to feel heard and understood without interruption. When we practice silence, we give the other person a chance to articulate their thoughts and emotions in a way that they might not be able to if they were constantly interrupted or rushed. Silence, then, is not an absence of communication, but an active way of listening and being present. Silence allows the words spoken to have more weight and meaning. When we speak without pauses, our words can lose their impact, but when we use silence strategically, every word spoken can resonate more deeply. This type of communication can be especially important in emotional situations where the person needs time to process their feelings before they can talk about them. Silence gives them that necessary space to reflect and find the right words. Silence also has the ability to convey empathy and understanding in a way that words can't. Sometimes, simply being present with someone quietly can communicate more support and solidarity than any words. This type of silent presence can be particularly helpful in times of grief or distress, when words may seem insufficient or inappropriate. Silence can offer deep comfort, showing that we are there for the other person, sharing their emotional baggage without the need for words. Additionally, silence can help reduce tension and conflict in a conversation. In situations where emotions are intense, a pause in the conversation can allow both parties to calm down and reflect before continuing. This can prevent impulsive reactions and allow for more constructive and respectful communication. Silence, in this sense, acts as a natural moderator, promoting calmer and more effective communication. Silence can also be a form of support that allows the other person to find their own solutions and answers. Instead of rushing to offer advice or solutions, silence allows the person to explore their own thoughts and feelings, coming to their own conclusions. This type of support fosters autonomy and self-confidence, helping the person develop their own skills to face challenges. For silence to be effective as a form of support, it is important to accompany it with an attentive and empathetic presence. This means being fully present in the moment, showing through our body language and facial expressions that we are listening and that we care about what the other person is saying. Maintaining eye contact, nodding your head, and offering supportive gestures such as a smile or a caress on your hand can complement the silence and make the other person feel truly heard and valued. Silence can also be a space for introspection and self-reflection. In a conversation, allowing moments of silence can give the person a chance to reflect on what they've said and how they're feeling. This can lead to greater clarity and understanding of your own thoughts and emotions. By providing this space, we help the person to deepen their own experience and find a deeper meaning in what they are experiencing. In interpersonal relationships, silence can strengthen bonds by showing deep respect for each other's experience. When we allow someone to speak without interrupting and filling every pause with our own words, we are demonstrating genuine respect for their perspective and their process. This can strengthen trust and emotional connection, creating a solid foundation for a deeper and more meaningful relationship. Silence can also be a powerful tool in conflict resolution. Instead of immediately responding to a provocative or defensive comment, a silent pause can allow both sides to reflect and reconsider their words and actions. This kind of thoughtful silence can diffuse tensions and open the door to more open and honest communication. In more formal contexts, such as in mediation or therapy, silence is an essential tool that allows people to explore their thoughts and feelings without the pressure of an immediate response. Mediators and therapists often use silence to allow people to process what has been said and find their own words to express their experience. This use of silence can facilitate deeper understanding and more authentic communication. Responding with positive affirmations is a crucial practice in communication and emotional support, especially when interacting with people who are going through difficult times. Positive affirmations are statements that acknowledge and validate the other person's feelings, accomplishments, and efforts. These affirmations have the power to lift spirits, strengthen self-esteem, and foster a sense of connection and understanding. Examples of positive affirmations may vary depending on the context and the specific situation. For example, if someone has overcome a significant personal challenge, we might say, "I'm really impressed by how you've handled this situation. You have shown great strength and resilience." This type of affirmation not only recognizes the person's effort, but also gives them a sense of accomplishment and recognition for their bravery and determination. In another context, if someone is working hard toward a goal and is feeling discouraged, a positive affirmation might be, "I know how much effort you're putting into this, and I want you to know that your dedication is inspiring. I'm sure all your work will pay off." This statement validates the person's continuous effort and provides positive reinforcement that can motivate them to keep going. The impact of positive affirmations can be profound. These statements can help people feel seen and valued, which is essential for their emotional well-being. When someone receives a positive affirmation, they can experience a sense of relief and support, knowing that their feelings and efforts are recognized and appreciated. This can reduce anxiety and stress, while also boosting self-esteem and self-confidence. In addition, positive affirmations can strengthen interpersonal relationships by creating an environment of mutual respect and understanding. When people feel like they're valued and appreciated, they're more likely to feel connected and engaged in their relationships. This can foster more open and honest communication and create a strong foundation for a healthy and supportive relationship. Using positive affirmations effectively requires a combination of sensitivity, empathy, and proper timing. It's important to choose the right time to offer a positive affirmation, making sure it's relevant and meaningful to the situation. For example, during a conversation where the person is sharing their struggles or successes, we can take the opportunity to offer an affirmation that resonates with their experiences. It is crucial that positive affirmations are authentic and specific. Instead of offering generic praise, we should focus on specific aspects that show that we are paying attention to detail and valuing the uniqueness of the person. For example, instead of just saying, "Good job," we might say, "The effort you put into that project really shows. Your attention to detail and commitment made a huge difference." Specific affirmations have a greater impact because they show that we truly appreciate and recognize the person's unique efforts and qualities. In addition, it is important to combine positive affirmations with active listening and emotional validation. It is not just about praising the person, but about creating a space where they feel heard and understood. Before offering an affirmation, it is helpful to reflect and validate what the person has shared. For example, we might say, "It sounds like you've been going through a really hard time. I'm impressed by how you have remained calm and determined despite everything." This shows that we are listening and that we value their expertise before offering our affirmation. Positive affirmations can also be especially effective in times of self-criticism or self-doubt. If someone is expressing insecurities or feelings of inadequacy, a positive affirmation can counteract these negative thoughts and offer a more balanced perspective. For example, if someone says, "I don't think I can do it," we can respond with a positive statement like, "I understand this seems challenging, but I've seen you overcome obstacles before. I trust your ability to handle this situation as well." It's critical to remember that positive affirmations shouldn't minimize the person's feelings or suggest that they need to get over their emotions quickly. Instead, they should acknowledge and validate what the person is experiencing while offering a perspective of support and hope. For example, instead of saying, "Don't worry, everything will be okay," we might say, "I know this is very difficult right now, but I'm here for you, and I believe in your ability to meet this challenge." Positive affirmation should be part of a larger conversation that includes empathy and genuine support. It's not just about offering praise, but about creating an environment where the person feels truly valued and understood. By choosing the right time, being specific, and balancing affirmations with active listening, we can use this tool to offer meaningful and authentic support to those who need it. Also, it's helpful to remember that offering positive affirmations doesn't mean we have to have all the answers or solve all the problems. Sometimes the most valuable thing we can offer is our presence and our willingness to accompany the person on their journey. Showing that we are available to listen, share their emotional baggage, and be present in difficult times is a powerful form of support that can make a huge difference in the life of someone who is suffering. Offering perspectives without imposing is a crucial skill in effective communication, especially when trying to support someone who is going through a difficult time. Sharing our personal experiences can be very valuable, but it's important to do it in a way that doesn't impose our opinions or solutions on the other person. The goal is to offer a perspective that can be useful, allowing the person to make their own decisions and find their own path. When we share our personal experiences, it is essential to do so with sensitivity and respect. Instead of presenting our experience as the right or best way to handle a situation, we should frame it as one possibility among many. For example, instead of saying, "You should do what I did," we might say, "When I was in a similar situation, this is what helped me." This way of sharing does not impose a solution, but simply offers an option based on our personal experience. It's important to be aware of the differences between our experiences and those of the other person. What worked for us may not be applicable or useful to someone else because of differences in circumstances, personalities, and contexts. Acknowledging these differences and expressing empathy for the other person's unique situation can help keep our words from feeling imposing. For example, we can say, "I know every situation is different, but I wanted to share what helped me in case it might be helpful to you." Another effective technique for offering perspectives without imposing is to ask open-ended questions. Instead of telling someone what they should do, we can ask questions that help them reflect on their situation and come to their own conclusions. Questions like, "Have you thought about how you could approach this?" Or, "What options do you think you might consider?" Invite the person to explore their own thoughts and feelings, rather than feeling like they're being told what to do. Emotional validation also plays a crucial role in this process. Before offering any perspective, it is important to validate the person's feelings and experiences. This shows that we understand and respect their situation, which can make them more open to listening to our suggestions. For example, we might say, "It sounds like this has been really hard for you. I want to share something that helped me in a similar situation, but I understand that it may not be the same for you." Using non-directive language is another useful technique. Instead of using imperative phrases, we can opt for language that gently suggests a perspective. For example, instead of saying, "You should try this," we might say, "You might consider this as an option." This type of language allows the person to feel in control of their decisions and reduces the feeling that an opinion is being imposed on them. It's also important to be open to feedback and willing to listen if the person doesn't find our perspective helpful. If we share an experience or suggestion and the person does not respond positively, we must be prepared to respect their reaction and not insist on our opinion. Say something like, "I understand that this may not be helpful to you. Is there anything else I can help you with?" Shows that we are committed to supporting them in the way that benefits them most. Offering perspectives without imposing also implies being aware of our intention. If our intention is genuinely to help and support, this will be reflected in our communication. However, if our intention is to prove that we are right, or that our way of doing things is the best, this will also be noticed and can create resistance. Reflecting on our motivations before sharing our experiences can help us maintain a supportive and respectful approach. If you found this content useful and want to learn more about how to transform your life, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Your support helps us continue to share valuable information for your personal growth.